Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody, your one-stop shop for everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. I'm Bob Matthews. Hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a day of coverage. Here we are, Monday Night Football coming up tonight. Commanders and the Bears. We all know it's the rematch of last year's Hail Mary game, which, as we were talking about last week, don't anticipate being nearly as close as it was last year. If you missed it last week, we talked about how you go back, you look at the tape from last year. Commanders had 3 trips to the red zone in the first half, wound up with 9 points on 2 of those trips. Were not able, had touchdown passes that were either one of them was dropped, the other one, the receiver just couldn't get their feet down in time. So, again, you connect on 2 or 3 of those, it's not nearly as close as it was at the end of the year. So, what do we got coming up tonight? Well, we do have some injury news, and it's not great. Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown both out already. They were ruled out late last week. Deebo Samuel is going to be a game-time decision. He is dealing with a heel issue. Came out to practice late on Saturday. I do have a feeling that it's kind of obvious to say if there's any possible way he will go. You just got to hope that heel can hold up. It is going to mean more snaps for Jalen Lane and for Luke McCaffrey. And again, if Deebo Samuel is not able to go, now that puts a lot of pressure on that offense. It's one thing to be without your top 2 receivers, to be without your top 3. That could be bad. What does that mean as far as the keys for winning go? Well, regardless of whether Deebo goes or whether Deebo doesn't go, run that ball. And our good friend Chris Russell from the Team 980 absolutely love to hear that. It's near and dear to the Roosters' heart. Hell, if it's me, why not just go ahead and put in the wing T offense with or the triple option, given the fact that, or the veer, given the fact that you're without McLaurin and Brown again, and maybe Deebo. Fortunately, if they want to go ground and pound till they make no sound again, this is the team, the Bears, to do it against because their defense is not very good. Horrible against the run, one of the 3 worst in the league, and not a whole hell of a lot better against the pass. So it should open up some opportunities in the passing game for these young receivers to get open. And again, I look for Bill Krosky-Merritt to have a really, really big game. I think they are going to feed Bill, and I think he's going to run wild again this week and I know that the Bears will be keying on him, but with a threat like Jaden back there with him, a dual threat like Jaden back there with him, you can't look to contain him too much because then Jaden will hurt you. So I think they are going to get a lot of yards on the ground coming up tonight. We shall see. We shall see what we shall see on that. And then defensively, you're going to have to turn in a defensive effort like you had last week because on offense, look, let's be honest here. The Bears got some weapons. DeAndre Swift and the receiving core is good. They've got a really good running back, and Caleb Williams. I know the dude is a lightning rod, but he has got some talent. You've also got Komet, the tight end. Chicago has got some offensive weapons. I think, though, when you look at their offensive line, I think that's where the Commanders can get to them. And I think that is, that's going to be their Achilles heel. It's what's going to hold them back. Pass blocking wise, they're bottom third there on that. And run blocking wise, they're not much better. Right there around 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. In all of those categories. So I think, again, the defensive front, the Commanders' defensive front had a great week last week. I think if they can do that again this week, I think they can slow the Bears down. But make no mistake about it, they're, like we said, a lot of weapons there on offense for Chicago. Got to keep them. Need another strong game from Marshawn Lattimore. Trey Amos has got to have a good game. The safeties have to play well. just everybody. It's one of those things where it's going to take a team effort, and hopefully, hopefully they will be up to it. I really think that they will be, because I think that I just think that I think that what we saw last week it is an indication of what we're going to see, the rest of the year. I really feel like they found their footing. Um, Again, keep an eye on DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Um, a lot of Zacchaeus. We know that they've got him this year. He played with the Commanders last year. He has been solid for him. DJ Moore, Roma Dunze has had a fantastic year. Again, coming off not great performances, but not horrible ones last week either. So just go out there and, again, control the line of scrimmage. It's really no more complicated than that. If they can do that, I think they'll limit what Chicago could do offensively. And if they limit what Chicago can do offensively, they're going to win this game pretty easily. Also, let's face it, on offense, the Commanders, of course, have the ultimate difference maker in Jaden Daniels. Thank God for that. And again, this is one of those situations. Injuries are always a part of the game. When you've got a quarterback as transcendent as Jaden, he can just raise the level of play for the guys that are going to be in there, regardless of whether it's your starting receivers or not. Back to the injuries on the Commanders here, real quick. Sam Cosmi, forgot to mention him. Not listed as out, doubtful. Don't know if he's going to play. I'm still thinking he'll probably be a scratch this week, but I do expect him back either next week or the week after. I really feel like he's going to be back before the end of October. All right, let's go ahead and hit the mailbag. We love it when you guys drop comments in the comment section. So the assignment for tonight, boys and girls, once the game is over, give us your instant analysis on how you think it turned out, your thoughts on it. Hopefully, it'll be another win. Donald Lewis says, totally agree with you, my friend. Skins Commander should definitely take care of business on Monday Night Football against a mediocre Bears team. Donald, shout out to Donald. He is very optimistic here. 42-17, Washington, JD, and Bill shred the Bears' run defense for 225 yards, and Skins Commander's defense force 3 or 4 Bears turnovers. I wouldn't mind seeing that. At Kingdom Seeker 1532, we got young players at the right position. Speaking of Bill, and I do think you're right. One of the other things I think that we're going to see, this could potentially be a monster game for Luke McCaffrey. Going back and looking at the tape last week, he was open a lot. Again, it's just one of those things where Jaden is looking for other guys. I think if Jaden looks in McCaffrey's direction, he's going to get rewarded. Obviously, he did with the 52-yard completion last week. I'm saying, and what I hope is that is gonna somehow subconsciously have Jaden looking for him a little more as a first option on some of those routes. And I think McCaffrey can very possibly, have a big breakout game. We'll find out a little bit later tonight. Remember, don't forget, drop us a comment after the game, your impressions of it. We will talk to you tomorrow with our post-game wrap-up. Remember, like the wise man once says, if you're out on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.